today on the first day of the most important session series of the IEEE Student Pro Career Fair, which is organized and proudly presented by IEEE Young Professionals Sri Lanka. So, as you all know, Student Pro Career Fair 5.0 is around the corner. All the things are set for the most captivating career fair of the year. So today we are at the important milestone of Studio Pro 5.0 Ask Me Anything session series with Fortune. Again, let me welcome you all to the the company partners, invitees, and the participants to this amazing session series. It's great pleasure to have you all here with your questions. So without further delay, let me hand over the stage to today's partners. Uh, the stage to Fortitude, the bronze partners of Stud Pro 5.0 to conduct this session. So guys, stage is yours.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Good morning and welcome to the session. We really appreciate that you have joined us today. So we received all the questions that you all had submitted. It was awesome to see more than 70 questions that were submitted, in fact. And initially, we were going to dive straight into the questions, but because there were quite a few questions about our company itself, we thought that it would make sense to do a brief company intro to get things started. So let me share my screen and I'll first take you through a bit about Fortitude and then we'll get into the questions themselves. Right. Hope my screen is coming through. All right, so before we get into the company intro, I'd like to introduce the presenters who will be speaking to you today and answering all your questions. So I will be kicking it off. So my name's Cassandra, and I am the manager for global employer branding. And I will be followed by Hosni, who is manager of talent acquisition. And Rasita will come after Hosni. So he's a senior technical lead QA, and he will be taking some of the technical questions that were posed to us. And he will be followed by Uday, who is a technical lead from the dev track. So I'm sure you will have many questions for him as well. And we finally, last but not least, we'll be rounding up with Kavita, who's also from our people operations team, who will be talking to you about the talent development and training side. Um, so before we get started, even though you all have already submitted questions, we'd still love to hear from you if you have any follow-up questions to what we're going to share with you today. So feel free to drop anything you have on the chat, and we'll do our best to respond to them as we go along in these 40 minutes. So to very quickly take you through our journey, I'm only presenting this slide because I think for some of you, you may be familiar with Fortitude as our previous name, which was Brandix i3. So it was set up in 2012. And then we focused primarily on info at the time. So we had that happening in 2014, and we also expanded operations into Australia and New Zealand. And then in 2017, we rebranded from Brandix i3 to Fortitude because we expanded our focus to a lot more global customers and not just the Brandix group in Sri Lanka. So we wanted a brand name that would, reflect that. So in 2018, we saw our entry into the Microsoft space, seeing us being awarded with a gold partnership in data analytics, and we also expanded to the UK and Europe. 2020 COVID happened, but still we managed to have quite a few highlights. We were the first in Asia to win a Microsoft grant for AI for accessibility. We were named the Info Alliance Partner for the Year. We also managed to expand into Canada. 2021 saw us launch our Microsoft services brand Interlint. So Interlint is a sub-brand of Fortune that focuses on Microsoft services. And in 2022, which is the year we're in, we're still going strong. We won a BPM Transformation Award for Best Global Services. There was some consolidation that happened within the group. That's an internal consolidation. And we've also expanded our portfolio to include managed services, products, and digital transformation. So going into what we do, very simply put, we deliver enterprise digital solutions to customers worldwide. So we work with onshore and offshore blended teams. Like we said, we have multiple, we are based in multiple locations and we have employees working from those locations, and we are a preferred partner to many customers. So here you see that our global headquarters is in Colombo, Sri Lanka. However, we do have regional offices in the Americas, in London, and in the ANZ region in Melbourne as well. So we currently we have delivered projects across 25 economies to over 95 customers. And these are some of the areas in which we have delivered these services. So there's digital transformation, as mentioned before. ERP consulting is a big part of what we do. Managed services, analytics and business intelligence, which might be of interest to some of you all, as we saw some questions around those. Enterprise software development, automation, and enterprise products. So these are some of our customers. So this is not all of them, but these are just our key customers and partners. So you may see some familiar names as well as some not so familiar names. So these are who we work with along with many others. Looking at strategic partnerships, as I mentioned before, we're an Info Alliance partner. We're also Microsoft partner, and you see a couple more of our partnerships down there. So who we are. As of now, we have a staff count of over 500 globally. And we're one of the largest Info M3 certified resource bases in the world. And in addition to that, we also focus on Microsoft Dynamics, BI, and analytics. We're a group of agile techies who are committed to driving customer success and value. So being a great place to work for our employees is of utmost importance to us. We have a great place to work score of 84 for 2021, and Sri Lanka's best was 85. So we're up there with the top great places to work. And the average job satisfaction at Fortune is 7.43 out of 10. And we've had this will be of interest to you because I'm sure learning and development is a top priority for almost all of you. So you'll be happy to see that we had over 550 hours of learning organization-wide per month. And this happens across multiple channels, including LinkedIn Learning, Udemy, and Pluralsight. And we also have a vision to achieve a 50-50 gender diverse workforce by 2024, where we have that gender balance. So I'll not spend too much time here, just to say that diversity and inclusion is a big part of what we do, which is why we have the 50-50 gender equality goal for 2024 as well. And we also do a lot of work around sustainability. And we really like to create an environment where we say that everyone can grow at Fortune, regardless of their identity. To also speak about our work environment as of now, because I think there was a question about whether it's remote work or hybrid or how it works. So currently we are on a hybrid model, where we have our staff working from home and they also come into the office from time to time. But having said that, it also depends from project to project. Yeah, so that brings me to a close. If you have more questions about what Fortitude does or anything about our work culture, anything like that, feel free to drop it in the chat. And with that, I'd like to hand over to Hosni to take you through some of the questions that were posed on vacancies and the requirements needed for a fresher. Hosni, over to you.
Thank you, Cassie. Hi, good morning, everyone. So you all had the questions on what different types of vacancies that we have. Yes. So as Cassie mentioned, we do have like different segments in our business as well. So we do have business intelligence, which is there. We have the ERP segment, and we have the software development. Within software development, yes, we do have project management, which is coming in, business analysis, which is coming in. So we do have opportunities in all these areas that we do. And mainly when you're looking at a fresher, when it comes to our ERP segment, so we are not only looking at people who have done software development, even the business management graduates who have done finance degrees, who have done even the software development people are able to go to our ERP segment. So we call them either functional consultants or maybe the techno-functional consultants. So your career can be widely open according to your wish, whether you want to go on a software development end or do you want to go on a process implementation like ERP implementation segment. So you all can choose your career on that as well. Apart from that, as I said, if you are interested in business intelligence, so we do have business intelligence opportunities for beginners. Like you can focus on those digitization aspect, and also within the software development, like we do have QAs and we do have different areas for DevOps. So I would say for .NET and different tech stacks. I mean, we look at people who can do the development in different tech stacks. So the freshers can apply for all most of these vacancies because we are looking at people who can grow within the organization. Not we are not looking at only people who are coming with experience, and we are not looking at that cadre only. So even for our functional consultants and for our software development, for our project management vacancies, we're looking at people who can come in, make an impact, and ensure that they grow within the organization and get exposed within the organization. So the most of the opportunities that we have are yes suitable for the freshers because we are looking at people who has the process knowledge, who are good in their academics, who have done, and then where we can give you the experience to grow within the organization. So I hope I made things clear on that, everyone. Yeah, Cassie, I think that's for me.
Hello, good morning, everyone. So there are some questions related to BA and data science and QA. So I'll be answering those questions. So the first one is that what are the exact certifications you would seek in an intern when applying for a business analysis position? So the short answer is we don't look for any exact certifications from an intern when you apply for a business analysis position. So if you are like following a degree in IT, computer science or anything related to business information, so that will be the basic qualification that would be required. But for a BA, there are a set of specific skill sets that would be required, like the communication skills, because you will be interacting mostly with a number of stakeholders, like externally, like the client, the dev teams, the QA teams, the management. So you need to have those good communication skills, and also like problem solving and analytical skills. Uh, and also you need to document these requirements in a very clear and non-ambiguous way. So those skills you would require, and presentation skills. So I think if you're applying for a position in business analysis, these things you will have to improve, but you don't have to worry about that because we have a very good learning and development team at Fortitude. They will identify your training requirements, and they will provide you with the good set of trainings to grow your career. So I think that I answered that question. And the second one is, are there any data science, analytics, and AI related opportunities? Yes, we do have. As Cassie said, we have a separate brand under Fortune called Intellect, which is specifically focused on providing BI and analytics solutions. So we are a Microsoft Gold partner, and currently we are providing solutions for USA, ANC, and APAC regions. So there's a lot of growth in that aspect. So we have openings for that, and we are working with Microsoft related tech stack when it comes to the analytics like Power BI and Azure Data Services. And also we have a Microsoft MVP who's heading the team. So if you join us, like, you will have a lot of opportunity to grow yourself in the BI and the analytics aspect. So yes, we do have opportunities. And when it comes to RPA, that goes under intelligence automation practice at Fortune. So we do provide the RPA solutions for a number of customers. Like, it's a fairly new path that we have started around 1 year ago. So there's a lot of potential there. And at RPA, like, we use UiPath, Blue Prism, Power Automate, and these kind of tools. So yes, we have opportunities, and you can join as an intern at in RPA as well. The next question is, what are the minimum requirements you ask for quality assurance? So you are also, like, if you are following a degree in IT or related degree, so that will be the basic requirement. But similar to BA, like, you need to have a set of skills. Like, the QA is kind of a very process oriented role. So you have to be like a very process oriented person, and you need to have a good attention to detail and think outside of the box, and some communication skills. So if you are looking for a career in QA, I think you have to focus on that. And also, as I said, we have the training and development team, which will help you to build your career. And so even if it says quality assurance, right now the quality assurance is becoming more like a quality engineering role. It's becoming more technical. So if you are interested in that, like, you have a lot of area to grow in QA as well. Like test automation, performance testing, and security testing is there. So yeah. And the last question is, what do you personally like about the company and the workplace? So I've been working here since 2013. So so what I mostly like about the company is the people. So they are really helpful. Like, if you join, like, they will help you in your projects, and they are very welcome and collaborative. So that's what I mostly like about the company. And also the culture. We have a very fun culture. Like, we have events happening every month. So and it really motivates us to work. And also, like, challenging work that we get. I have got the opportunity to work in a lot of domains and a lot of different tech stacks. So that's also one of the things that I like a lot about the company. So I think I covered the questions. So they will take over the next set of questions.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Hope I'm audible and clearly visible to you well. So I'll go through one question. So, are there job roles for research and development that related to ICT? So, uh, I'll answer this question like this. So, in every aspect of the research, even though is it related to IT or not, the ICT part is in every aspect of the in every sector. Even you are doing a research in healthcare, or in engineering, or in any other thing, statistics. The IT is a part of that. Currently, we cannot do anything, any researchers, any new invention without the ICT incorporation. And if we taking about the research and development within the Fortude, so we have a few small team that we are catering on the research and development, and they are adhering their development parts in our project and the solution that we provide to customer. So yes, there are job roles for the research related to ICT, not only to the ICT, in every aspect that which cater with the IT. And the next question is, what kind of things do companies accept from the front-end developer? So, and what kind of languages and libraries? If I answer this question like this, so there are mainly two parts, like user interface and user experience. Previously, we more focused on the user interface, UI things rather than the UX things. Now the trend is we have to cater about the UX thing, and how we have to got into a customer shoe and think about the how will user go through this our interface, and how the customer will perform this user how the customer's user experience if we are using this system. So when it comes to the technology, now it's mainly the Angular and the React is on the top of the languages. And when it comes to libraries, we have to tailwind the CSS and what we call materialized development, and also the design perspective of the user interface. And what are the requirements for software engineers to join a company? So the basic requirement is to hold a degree. So it's the main entry point. If you have a degree related to IT, so it will be the basic qualification. After that, if you have any certification like Microsoft certification or any related to BA, QA, or those things will be added advantage. For if you are joining as a fresh graduate, and you should have your degree completed with good grades, and you should have your basic correct when we are entering. So for example, basic software engineering skills like what are the object-oriented concepts, how you apply them in practically, what are the database concepts, how you apply those things in your practical example. So if you have done your assignments or the projects in the last year or within your academic period, so we are also focusing on those projects as well. How you work on those projects. So mainly you will mention those in your CV. So we'll go through that CV and we'll come up with several questions based on that. So first thing is you should complete your degree with good grades, and then you should have the basic software engineering knowledge with you. And not only the certification and the thing, you should focus on the non-technical aspects as well. How you communicate with your interviewer, how you communicate with your team, and how your documentation skills. Those things also evaluated when you are focusing on your interview. And career progression, switching into the industry, what does 5-year trajectory look like for me after starting off at your company? So most of you joining us will be joining as the intern or associate software engineer as your first career. So within 5 years, you will be able to be at associate technical lead or senior software engineer. Actually, the position you be in the 5 years is totally based on your skill and how you focus on your career, how you cater, how you manage with your team members, how you communicate with them, how you handle your customers. So if you are doing really well, it won't take 5 years to become a technical lead. If you have your your technical skills with you as well as your non-technical skills, behavioral skills. So there were several senior software engineers, associate technical leads within our team who joined as a graduate trainee for our team, as well as associate engineers as when they just right after their graduation. So after the 4 to 5 years, they are now in positions of associate technical lead, senior software engineer. Totally based on your how you position your skills and the behavioral skills. So over to you, Kavita. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Sudhir, and hope I'm audible and you can keep track of the audio and video both at the same time. My colleagues just spoke to you about some of the areas in terms of skill and capability that we look at, especially when it comes to hiring. Up on the slide now are a few more questions. So I'll go in as my colleagues did in the same order as you see the bullet points that are on the slides. Absolutely, we do value your knowledge of concepts, your grade point average, all of that is valuable. But in an interview, especially if you're a fresher, yes, tell us about the projects that you worked on. Tell us about what you're looking at in terms of your final year, if there's anything that you've done by way of an internship. But what matters most for us is, number one, are you willing to learn, right? And I think both Rasita and Uday spoke about this when they covered their segments. Learning is something that we are very passionate about. And it's something that matters, not just for a fresher, not just for somebody who's completed 1 or 2 years, but even our most tenured leaders and managers, they are passionate about learning, not just for the teams, but also for themselves. So for us, yes, it's great if you've been able to showcase your skills and capabilities, but how much are you willing to learn, right? So I'm going to, you may be familiar with concepts of agile. I'm going to call it learning agility, in other words, right? Along the road, there's so much on the job that you can learn and pick up, so much that you can be aware of in terms of the industry. And that's one of the key things that we're looking for as well. In terms of the second bullet point on training, training continues, right? So I'll go back to what I said earlier. Learning is something that we are all passionate about. During the first 3 months and the first 6 months, there's very intensive training in terms of getting you ready for your role, but that also includes a percentage of on-the-job training. So it's not just knowledge transfers, there's also the opportunity to apply those skills built, particularly during the first 3 months and 6 months, right? So I'd say 0 to 90 days, and this is kind of answering the final bullet point on the slide as well. 0 to 90 days is a little bit heavier on the knowledge transfer and the handheld exercises. From 91 days to 180 days, it's a little bit more independent also, and giving you the chance to apply some of those skills and capabilities that you've built. This brings me to point number 3. What are the skills that you are looking for most? And is personality important? So I'll answer the first question there. The skills we are most looking for, I would say, number one is the ability to work in a team, right? Collaborate. Yes, you will have your individual roles, but at the same time, you are never working in a silo. You're never working by yourself. You're working with a group of people. So that's number one in terms of competencies. Like I said earlier, are you willing to learn? Are you passionate about finding out more about the kind of work that we do, about where you can bring value to the organization? At the same time, are you keen to understand your clients? So this goes into a skill or competency, which we call client orientation. And this is where we talk about the skills that come with customer service, right? Yes, we may be developing behind the scenes, but that means that we still need to connect with human beings. And we're developing for users who are human beings. So understanding the client and really trying to meet the requirement in the best way possible along with the team, that's where the client orientation and the collaboration part comes in. And then, of course, communication. So Uday also spoke of this earlier, and I don't mean communication by way of language. Of course, yes, we are an organization that works with international customers, so that means the language that we work in is English, but it also means communication is a large number of things. Are you keeping your stakeholders updated? Is your team aware of what is going on? Do you give regular updates to your project manager? These are aspects of communication that we are also looking at, and it's not just at the interview stage. We evaluate this at 90 days and at 180 days as well. Of course, personality is important, but it's not a fixed thing, right? So as Cassie mentioned earlier, I am a part of the talent development team, and personality is something that continues to develop. It's not fixed. So yes, personality is important. How agile are you in keeping track of those aspects of personality that you want to talk about and want to identify? All right, so moving on to point number 4, are Google certifications valid? Absolutely, right? The more you're willing to learn, like I said, the happier we are to embrace that. But don't let it be a static again, right? Learning is something that continues. Of course, if you're doing something via Google Garage, great. But there are other certifications as well that we too can enable you to earn. Please make sure that you're keeping track of those as well. Moving on to point number 5, if a candidate has applied for a certain specific position, but the interviewer feels like the candidate could fill in a different position better, what would we do? Absolutely, we would recommend you for a different role, and we've done that. In fact, we've had individuals who started off perhaps on the development side, and then done maybe a PMP in terms of project management, and then they've changed over. Or we had someone who started off as a project manager and then moved into ERP consulting. So it's up to you. I think Uday and Rasita both mentioned this. How do you want to embrace that? How do you want to make good on those different opportunities that are there? And that's important to us. What do you expect a person doing an internship to accomplish in their first 90 days? I think I've answered the question, but I'll repeat myself. For the sake of repetition, learn, apply, learn, apply, learn, apply, right? And of course, there are goals that you have at 3 months, that's 90 days, and at 6 months, that's 180 days. So keep track of those, right? And the goals are not going to be some hard to reach goals. They are goals that are discussed with you and your supervisor. And so they are kind of in line with the work that is being done and the possible role that you will play in a project as time goes on. So I think I'm almost at time, but before I go, I think there was a question that came in. What is Fortude's opinion on hiring people without college degrees? Does Fortude hire people who are self-taught? So I think the question came in from Sriveen Prabhash. Absolutely, we are not. College degree is a minimum if you're looking for a full-time role. But if you want to start off as an intern, absolutely, you can talk to us about which stage of learning you're in or what exactly you're doing by way of developing yourself. And we will be happy to talk to you about what some of your options look like and what the opportunities are right now. We do hire giggers as well as interns. So feel free to share with us your profile, but let us know what stage of learning you are in and what exactly you've done. Like I said, learning is valuable to us. So we'd be happy to see how we can work together to perhaps develop your career. All right, so that's it from my side. I'm handing it back to Cassie now for the rest.
Thanks, Kavita. So I think we are at time, but we do have some questions that have come in. So if y'all are okay to hang around for another 5 minutes, we'll be able to answer those questions for you. So Satyajit has asked if we have Java Spring Boot vacancies available. Hosni, Uday, would you be able to take that one?
Yes, Cassie. Yes, we do have the Java Stack vacancies which is open, and we do have some intern opportunities as well. So feel free to send your profile for those things so we can evaluate and get back to you as well.
Thanks, Hosni. Then there was a question about how to use blockchain technology in smart home for security purposes. So what I can tell you is blockchain definitely can be used for those purposes, but unfortunately, I don't think we have the time to go into how this can be done. So maybe that is something we can respond to, and maybe we can actually have someone who will be able to respond to that better than we could actually. The next question is from Reem. If there are any QA manual internships, Rasita, would you be able to take that?
Yes. So we do have annual QA internship opportunities because we are currently working on some large digital transformation projects. So there are manual QA requirements. So please send us your CVs so we can schedule an interview for you.
Thanks, Rasita. Then also on that, are there job opportunities for mean stack developers? Hosni or Udaya, would you be able to take?
Yes, Cassie. I think with the mean stack development, what do you mean is like a Java-based thing. So yes, we do have different tech stacks opportunities which is coming in. If you are preferably looking at something on the Java background, yes, again, we do have that.
Thanks, Hosni. So I think the next question came before Udaya actually touched on it, so we have answered it. What are the technical aspects that are required for software engineering internships? So I think Udaya touched on this, and Kavita kind of touched on some of the points as well in terms of what we look for in a undergrad. Um, there was one by Oshani. Are there any overseas internship opportunities for an engineering undergraduate? So your internship will start here in our Sri Lankan headquarters. But having said that, you will work with global customers and you will work with our global teams. And after you have proven yourself, certainly there are overseas opportunities available, but it will, as you can understand, it's not very practical or feasible to send interns overseas as of now. So there is a period where you'd have to kind of prove yourself and show us your technical abilities before we can look towards that. There was a question from a biomedical engineering graduate, which I actually don't think we are equipped to answer, given that we are a software, like we are a solutions company. But what I do recommend is you can probably reach out to the IEEE team, who would probably be able to let you know what opportunities are available in Sri Lanka. Then there was a question on if there are UI UX internships available. I believe we do have UI UX internships available. Hosni, would you be able to clarify?
Yes, so we do also have, as you said, internships in UI UX as well. So as explained before, also we are looking at people with different tech stacks who can grow within the organization. So for majority of these tech stacks, we do have internship opportunities, and we give those opportunities to the interns to ensure that they grow within the organization.
Thanks, Hosni. So I think the next one, Kavita answered the end of her questions, which was Srivin's question. There was one from Lakshan about electronical production site companies for students who have studied electronics. Again, my advice to you, Lakshan, would be to talk to the IEEE team for the opportunities available. As of now, we don't have those opportunities within our organization, but you will be able to get a list of companies from the IEEE team. Reem has also asked the important skills in a QA intern. I think Rasita actually touched on some of those skills, the skills required. So we'll pass on that one because Uday, Rasita and Kavita both all touched on it. But if you do have further questions, we will be at the IEEE fair on like if you have follow-up questions for the soft skills or technical skills required, we'll be at the IEEE fair next week. So you can please feel free to visit us and we'll be happy to have a chat with you. Then there's a question about food and bioprocess engineering. Again, my advice would be to speak to the IEEE team because this is not our forte. And I think that is okay. And are there JavaScript job vacancies for interns? Hosni, we don't specifically hire JavaScript interns per se, but it may be one of the technologies that you are required to know. Hosni, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, exactly, Cassie.
And then can a final year undergraduate apply for a job? Certainly, we actually have a graduate trainee program coming up. We are calling for applications starting 1st of November. So you'll definitely be able to apply for that. That will be relevant to you. And would you give a software job opportunity to a telecommunications engineer? Certainly, we are not limited to we do look for technical capabilities in undergraduates. So if you are willing to also pivot and learn, the opportunities certainly are available for you. So it will depend on how you perform at our interviews and assessments, but certainly that is something we can consider. So I think we have run through all the questions that I received. Kavin, I've answered the ones that you posted to me as well. But like I said earlier, we will be at the career fair next week. So if you do have more questions, so some of us will actually be there in person. So if you have more questions, if you'd like to learn more about Fortude, or if you would like to, if you would like to submit your CV, please feel free to visit us. You can also visit our website, fortude.co, where we have all our open vacancies up, and you can apply to any one of them. So that's it from me. Kavin, anything from your end, or we are good to wrap up, I believe?
Yeah, I think you are good to wrap up. So thank you very much for all the questions and answers. I think everyone learned a lot from them. And yeah, thank you very much. And hoping to see you guys at the career fair. And I hope everyone is excited as I am.
So yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.